All right, guys, we're going to get right into it. We're going to get right into it, man. So Donald Trump confirming today that he is putting a foreign entity's interest before America's, which we all knew. All that America First crap was all a bunch of BS all along. He officially just confirmed that he will be putting America last, really. And he met with the genocidal, convicted genocidal murderer, Netanyahu, came to visit him. And he's even Donald Trump went as far as to claim that he wants to annex Gaza and make it the 51st state of America. Right? He didn't verbatim say that, but he insinuated. And the funny thing is, contrary to what most people see as like this big Israeli-U.S. alliance and, they're going to work together to solve this thing, Netanyahu looked like he was livid. Right? Netanyahu was not liking what Trump said because he knows that when he made that statement, he said that the United States of America will now occupy or attempt to occupy Gaza. Of course, most of, all his rhetoric is going to go down the toilet. But, just for entertainment's sake, we're going to go ahead and entertain what Donald Trump said this evening. Netanyahu looked at him in disgust, guys. We're going to watch the clip here. Let's look at the video here and analyze it. This is Netanyahu with Mr. Trump here.
The only reason the Palestinians want to go back to Gaza is they have no alternative. It's right now a demolition site. This is just a demolition site. Virtually every building is down. They're living under fallen concrete that's very dangerous and very precarious. They instead can
Netanyahu even wrote him a script. Look at that.
Occupy all of a beautiful area with homes and safety, and they can live out their lives in peace and harmony instead of having to go back and do it again.
Oh.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip.
Look at that. Look at that.
We'll do a job.
Look at Netanyahu. Look at Netanyahu's face.
We'll own it and be responsible.
Look at Netanyahu. He was so uneasy. Even Netanyahu had to step back and be like, "Wait, what? That's not what we agreed on." Peasant,
responsible
Gentile.
For dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site, and get rid of the.
Look at Don. Look at Netanyahu. Netanyahu is like getting ready to. He doesn't even believe what the hell Trump's saying.
Destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job. Do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
Netanyahu, because look, man, if you could read body language, you know that Netanyahu was looking at him like, "What in the fuck are you talking about? This is Israeli annexed land. What do you mean the U.S. is going to take over Gaza? You fucking peasant. Remember, you work for us." That's literally what Netanyahu was saying to Trump right there, man. That's his body language, guys. You got to read the body language. This is Trump again here. Look at this is Trump pulling the seat for Netanyahu to sign some type of amendum or something. Some type of he's getting Netanyahu to sign something here. Look at that. Look at that. He pulls the chair for him. Here you go, boss. Here you go, boss. I want to make you feel comfortable. The real U.S. president just walked up in the room. Netanyahu, man, he's been running the country. And then, people, especially there's a bunch of reporters that showed up because there's a lot of press that, were following Netanyahu and Trump around because everybody knows that they're going to get some, because a lot of people are interested in what's going to occur in the Middle East. And really, people are looking out for, because underlyingly, everybody knows that, the United States has been occupied by a foreign entity. This shadow government, quote unquote, that they claim is amongst the United States and is controlling all the policies, foreign policies, and all that yippity yap, right? So, dude was the press poured in, right, from all walks of life. Palestinians, Israelis, CNN, NBC, liberals, conservatives, fat people, skinny people. Everybody pulled up to see what Donald Trump and Netanyahu had to say, and the reporters were pressing back. Like, they weren't holding back. They're like, "Yo, what are you talking about? Like, what does all this mean?" They were pressing back. They're like, "Hey, why are you, because people are like waiting for this to happen. They're waiting for the flip, the Israeli first flip, right? Because they're like, oh, they thought Trump was solid up until today, and everybody was waiting for Trump to flip. When is Trump gonna flip? Because we know that these people have him by the balls, so he can't keep lying to us, And today he just showed his cards. Like, look at this, Donald Trump going to CNN. Look at this, Donald Trump going to CNN. Yeah, I'm going to greet Satan himself. Look at that. Donald Trump going to greet Satan. Look at it. It's just pathetic, man. Dear Trump. Oh, here comes my boss. Here comes my boss. They respect him more than Trump. Oh, you have to give the big old handshake for his Jewish brother there. There you go. Oh, look at that. Yeah, he's making a seat for him. Yeah, man. Pathetic, bro. This is a sad day in the MAGA world. So now he wants to put U.S. troops in Gaza. Essentially, what that means is, there might be U.S. troops going to southern Lebanon. They might get involved in other places in the Middle East, maybe even Syria. And Trump wants to acquire Gaza. Yeah, you're going to see the back of my ass if Israel allows you to acquire Gaza. They're not having that shit. Because then, it'll get exposed, man. They'll see, like, all the war crimes. Because they're not letting anyone investigate anything, right? Because if somebody went in there and actually investigated what happened on October 7th and furthermore throughout the war, people are going to be shocked. They're going to be like, what kind of shit? Like, we don't even have, international laws thrown out the window. There's no human rights. The joke of human rights and international law and all that shit will become a complete joke. When you see that, people will be fucking horrified. They'd be like, as bad as it is for Israel, people would be like, okay, these people are fucking monsters. What the fuck is it? These people are mentally ill. So yeah, the press pushed back on this clown here. I'm looking for a few. Oh, look at this one. So he tries to go off on a reporter. And he said, oh, well, the Gazans have to go to Egypt or Jordan. They need to leave the enclave. And a reporter says, Trump says, why would they want to return? And the reporter says, it's their home, sir. Would you like someone to come in there and kick you out of your house, you fat fucking pig?
Peter? Would Palestinians have the right to return to Gaza if
Look at
they
this.
left while the rebuilding was happening?
It would be my hope that we could do something really nice, really good, where they wouldn't want to return. Why would they want to return? The place has been hell. It's been one of the meanest, toughest places on earth. And right now, I've seen every picture from every angle, better than if I were there. And nobody can live there. You can't live there. So if we can build them through massive amounts of money supplied by other people, very rich nations, and they're willing to supply it. If we can build something for them in one of the countries, and it could be Jordan, and it could be Egypt, it could be other countries, and you could build 4 or 5 or 6 areas. It doesn't have to be one area, but you take certain areas and you build really good quality housing, like a beautiful town, like someplace where they can live and not die. Because Gaza is a guarantee that they're going to end up dying. The same thing's going to happen again. It's happened over and over again, and it's going to happen again as sure as you're standing there, Peter. So I hope that we could do something where they wouldn't want to go back. Who would want to go back? They've experienced nothing but death and destruction.
A fucking clown. Yeah, and she told, shout out to that reporter, she said, hey, it's their home, sir. What do you mean why they would want to return? That's where they grew up. That's all their memories, their family, their lineage. Thousands of years have just like the Jews who came from Poland say, you know, their lineage as well, that a lot of Palestinians have hundreds of years of history. And they want to, you know, remove them from their homes. Like she says, it's their homes. You have no right to do that, you clown. That's against international law. It's against humanity. That's against everything, right? And the funny thing is, like, I'm saying this all in humor because this is never gonna actually occur, guys. We saw exactly what happened when during the hostage release. Hamas is stronger than ever. They haven't even killed. I don't even think they even killed 1,000 Hamas soldiers. They've just been targeting innocent lives, innocent women and children throughout the entire year. So it's hilarious to me how they say that they're going to be able to achieve any of this. They're not going to be able to achieve. And not only that, Hamas is replenishing with both fighters and weapons. It's like an unlimited supply of fighters and weapons still being snuck into Gaza. And there's nothing they can literally do about it. You know, there's literally nothing they can do about it. And it's going to be a constant cycle of violence. It's going to be an Afghanistan-like situation. Let's chill there for 20 years until it's time to pull out, you know, because we're not really doing anything there. We're not securing shit. And he's putting more U.S. troops in harm's way. You know, unfortunately, there are going to be people that will eventually die from fighting these proxy wars all across the Middle East, all for the benefit of, you know, greater Israel. So, yeah, but it's a complete joke, guys, because it'll never come into fruition. No Arab country is gonna, because you got to think, man, like, you got to follow the money, right? So you got people, especially the Gulf Arab states, who have billions of dollars, you know, that they're investing in America and all these other places. How much money is Israel? If anything, Israel's a fucking liability to America. And, you know, when it comes to the point, when people actually study it and see that there's really no benefit of doing all that, right? There's, you know, other than the strong Israeli lobby that's kind of imposing this shit on everybody, you know, people are gonna, you know, rise up and because essentially this clown here, he wants him, because his right-wing extremist Zionist government wants him to neutralize Iran, which is practically impossible now. So they have to make a deal with Iran, because Iran is like bulletproof, because they could really disrupt. I mean, they could really do a lot of damage, bro. Iran could really do a lot of damage to trade, to the economy, to oil reserves, to you know, Iran's not Gaza, it's not Lebanon, it's not Syria, it's not Iraq, it's none of these places. Iran's a major military power within the world now.
What's the greatest threat right now that Israel faces? Foreign threat.
Iran. You want the three threats?
Give me the three threats.
Iran, Iran, Iran.
Know your project.
Yeah, man. So, oh, and speaking of Iran, so Trump issues a warning to Iran. He's saying that if Iran attempts to quote unquote assassinate him, which it was never Iran at the beginning, you know, in the first place. We know who was trying to assassinate him. Them boys.
Next, sir, this is a national
He's
security
like, he's gonna
presidential
obliterate
that,
Iran.
seeks
He
to
says he has
impose maximum pressure on the government of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Many of these provisions are similar to actions that your administration took during your first administration. The basic idea here is to have every department and agency, or many departments and agencies in your government attempt to sanction and control Iranian activities, particularly relating to the Iranian nuclear program and the Iranian export of terrorism through support of various proxy groups abroad. And the intent here is to give you all of the possible tools to, I'd say, engage with the Iranian government to ensure that going forward they're less of a malign actor on the world stage.
So this is one that I'm torn about. Everybody wants me to sign it. I'll do that. It's very tough on Iran. It's what we had before. We would have never had the problem. You would have never had October 7th. We would have never had the problem had the election gone a different way, which it should have. But this one, I think, more than made up for it. I think we're doing things, and it shows it more than made up for it, much more historic. The Iran situation, hopefully, I'm going to sign it, but hopefully we're not going to have to use it very much. We will see whether or not we can arrange or work out a deal with Iran, and everybody can live together, and maybe that's possible, and maybe it's not possible. So I'm signing this, and I'm unhappy to do it, but I really have not so much choice because we have to be strong.
Not so
and
much
firm,
choice.
And
Why? Who's putting a gun to your head? Trump? Just say it. Just tell it like it is. Who's putting a gun to your fucking head? All right? Just tell us who it is, man. It's the Israeli AIPAC lobby, bro. Just say it's AIPAC. Just say AIPAC has a gun to your head and I have to sign it. Okay?
I hope that it's not going to have to be used in any great measure at all. It'd be great if we could have a Middle East and maybe a world at total peace. Right now you don't have that. When I left, you had peace all over the world, and now you have the world is blowing up. As you know, Bibi is coming in to see me later. Others are coming in to see me. We'll see what we can do. But I'm signing this, and hopefully it will be a document which won't be very important. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. We don't want to be tough on Iran. We don't want to be tough on anybody, but they just can't have a nuclear weapon.
Mr. President, are you going to engage in conversations with your counterpart in Iran?
I would.
Do you want to block the sale of Iranian oil to other nations?
Well, we have the right to do that, and that's what I did before, and they had no money. They wouldn't have had the money for Hamas or Hezbollah or anybody else. It could have been solved, this thing. It just, if things went the way they should have, this would have been over long ago, but it's not over.
How close do you think Iran is to developing a nuclear weapon?
I think they're close. They're too close. But again, you could go back 4 years. I would have said they would have had it during this intervening period. But they're pretty close, Peter.
And why say that you're unhappy to sign it? If
They already have it.
Iran and their proxies who have threatened to
And if not, if they don't have it, they can make it in a week.
against you and your
That
team,
nuclear weapon shit's a joke, guys. They have the fissile material, right? They just have to make the nuclear head, put it on a fucking missile. Like, what constitutes having a nuclear weapon? Like, these people use that word so loosely because the general public doesn't really understand, that you don't have to have a physical fucking nuclear, packed backpack nuke bomb or some shit. They call it they don't have to have like the actual, missile or whatever the fuck, the nuclear warhead missile. They have the fissile material. They have all the things necessary to enrich the proper uranium, and could do it at a really fast pace, and they even have, I've heard they have a nuclear type, destructive bomb without the actual radiation. Russia has that, and Iran has that. They've acquired that as well. So that nuclear weapons shit is a complete bullshit, really, man. It's not. It's just used as an excuse to neutralize Iran's gaining power and influence in the Middle East, right? So they wanted an excuse to go to war with Iran like they did with Iraq, to try to weaken it and neutralize it. So people haven't learned from the Iraq war. They haven't learned from any war, really, man. Syria, nothing.
For taking out Soleimani.
Well, they haven't done that, and That would be a terrible thing for them to do, not because of me. If they did that, they would be obliterated. That would be the end. I've left instructions. If they do it, they get obliterated. There won't be anything left. And they shouldn't be able to do it. And Biden should have said that, but he never did. I don't know why. Lack of intelligence, perhaps. But he never said it.
Yeah, right, man. If anybody's going to assassinate Trump, it's the people around him.
If that happens to a leader or close to a leader, frankly, if you had...
All right. So, yeah, he's going to obliterate Trump if they don't... he's going to obliterate Iran if Iran, quote-unquote, tries to assassinate Trump, which, you know... and, you know, guys, the thing is, Trump is not a warmonger. It's just, we were just waiting for him to flip, you know, due to the strength of the Israeli/Zionist lobby that has a fucking grip on Congress, this country, you know, the world even. They have a strangling grip, and we were waiting for him to flip. And today was that day. Today was that day, man. Yeah.
We have no home. For those who want to send them to a happy, nice place, let them go back, you know, to their original homes inside Israel. There are nice places there, and they will be happy to return to these places. But in the meantime, our homeland is our homeland. If part of it is destroyed, the Gaza Strip, the Palestinian people selected the choice to return to it. In 2 days, in a span of few hours, 400,000 Palestinians walking returned to the northern part of the Gaza Strip. I think that we should be respecting the selections and the wishes.
When they returned back to northern Gaza, that was a big fuck you to Israel, you know. It was a great moment. Again, guys, like none of this is going to come into fruition. And in my opinion, I think it's time for Iran to declare themselves a nuclear power, even if it causes some type of, you know, it might cause a response from the American side or the Israeli side. Because that's gonna shift things around. Okay, I think Iran's trying to play it safe. They don't want a regional war or a war, an immediate war with the United States and Israel. But you see, the thing is that, like I said, the whole nuclear power declaration is a big old joke, anyways, because. And even the foreign minister said it, you know, if they wanted to make one, they can make one really fast, really quickly. They have all the necessary fissile material. They have the uranium enrichment. They have everything necessary to make the bomb. You know, they're just holding back and using it as like a baiting tool to get what they want on the world stage, you know. And that's what's driving Israel and America crazy, is that, you know, they don't want to negotiate anything that would benefit Iran, especially from an economic standpoint, because then you have a situation where China and everybody in East Asia is solely getting their oil from Iran, right, which makes it an extremely powerful state, could threaten the likelihood of it, you know, it being another regional superpower. And they don't, you know, Israel and America don't want to live with that shit. They don't want another Russia or China, you know, in the Middle East, right? Because if you have a Russia or China in the Middle East, because Iran's the equivalent of China to East Asia, Russia to Europe, Iran's the equivalent of that to the Middle East as far as influence, power, development, strength, money. And so they're trying to make an excuse of this whole nuclear weapon bullshit to, you know, have it an excuse to preemptively strike Iran before it gets to that point where you have a full-blown fucking China-like regime on the global stage in the Middle East, right, which threatens tiny little old Israel, right? Which not really, because if Israel left them alone, they can't harm. I don't think the Iranians are interested in generally harming Israel, but they'd want more lenient policies towards the Palestinians and possibly forming a Palestinian state, like a two-state solution type situation. But the Israelis could see that that's not a feasible outcome for them, because they're looking at expanding, which would halt that for them, right? Well, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting how this all plays out here.